Today, before we start on our writing lesson, I want to give us a quick reminder. I want us to remember that mistakes help us with our learning. We make lots of mistakes in our writing, which means when you come to a spelling that you don't know and you want to work it out, and you've worked out the new spelling, make sure that instead of grabbing an eraser, you put a line across your writing and on top of it, write down your corrected spelling. The reason for that is we want to see how our mistakes has helped us grow. We don't want to just erase everything. We want to be able to remember our mistakes so that we can learn how we grow from it. Okay. Today's lesson is all about illustrations. And writers, today I want to make sure that we're thinking closely about illustrations and think about the different ways that writers can teach through their illustrations. Information writers uses zoom, captions, and also arrows to teach in their illustrations. Let me show you what that looks like.
Now let's look at the author who wrote the book The Moon. Now the author wrote, "The moon is made of rock and iron. The top layer of the moon is the crust. A thick layer of rock called the mantle lays under the crust. The moon may have a small iron core." Now, in the illustration, you can see that the author is using lots and lots of arrows. These arrows are pointing at different parts of the moon, and he labels them so that we are able to learn. He's teaching us by giving us arrows and also the labels to help us learn about the different parts of the moon. Let's look at this page. The moon revolves around Earth once each month. The moon spins once in the same amount of time. This action causes the same side of the moon to face Earth all the time. Now, let's have a look closely at this illustration. Here, the author is using this part, the arrow, to show the way that the Earth moves around the sun and the way the moon revolves around the Earth. But he doesn't stop there. He also makes sure that he uses captions to teach us a little bit more about the movement. Caption is another way of saying labels. And now let's look at this first grade writer. This first grade writer zooms right in. Instead of drawing the plant really small, she draws the plant really big so that we get to see the different parts of the plant. Look at that. This writer uses labels and arrows to talk about the different parts of the plants. Writers, today when you go into your writing, make sure that you are using illustrations to teach your readers. Use zoom, use labels, captions, and arrows